many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in.
Welcome everybody to the Leo Zagami Show with Leo and Christy. Happy Easter! Yes, this is going to be a very special Easter. I hope for all of you. It's the year of the Lord 2025, and definitely this resurrection of Jesus in our hearts, as well as in the whole world, is needed more than ever, especially when Satan is really creeping in the most insidious ways. This show today is going to make a lot of people upset. What you're going to be listening, what you're going to be seeing is going to really shock you in many ways. But first of all, Christy, who are today's sponsors?
Daniel Estes and Nagra Zadaminta.
Thank you so much, guys. And please support the Leo Zagami Show so we can keep on grooving, as you say. And, of course, you can do it also with the purchase of all my books. In particular, I want to... I made that article this week, which was very successful. An article which I'm going to show you now.
Very interesting article.
On the Order of the Nine Angles, because these guys attempted to, they wanted to kill, and they probably still want to kill President Donald J. Trump. And fortunately, the guy was arrested after he killed his own parents. A lot of people ask me, how did you find the information that you have in this article? How did you know these things about the Order of the Nine Angles? They're so secretive, they're so dangerous. Well, guys, I wrote it all in volume 5 a few years ago. And so if you go on volume 5, you're going to find this information plus a lot more, including the truth about of course, the origins of the COVID-19 virus, which now has been officialized by a whole page on the official website of the White House, which you're going to, of course, check out today, which blames, of course, Dr. Fauci, which was pardoned by Joe Biden for this reason, that Jesuit of Dr. Fauci. But like I said, if you want to know more, especially in regards to this, the content of this article is based on volume 5, and I was able to get this information from material that circulates more or less online from this Order of the Nine Angles. Many years ago, I was introduced to their teachings by a guy who used to be a member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, and since then I was pretty creeped out by what they were capable of doing. Imagine this guy killed his own parents and then stayed with them for 12 days so he could absorb their energies. I mean, some really sick stuff. But if you want to know more about it, read, of course, the article or get yourself a copy of volume 5 of my confessions. And at this point, we have so much news today, and it's very relevant because, I mean, Jesus crucified, goes on the cross for us, is crucified for us and for our sins. And it's also something to do with Satan, which is creeping in our society more than ever. Guys, I want to show you just, I mean, this is an official magazine from Palm Springs, no? Palm Springs? What is it?
It's the city of commerce, like dining and shopping.
A feast of giving, and you have, so what is wrong with this? Well, check out the sponsorship. Juicy Lucifer.
That looks so appetizing.
Not. I mean,
what happens when you eat that?
I mean, we know that we are really in
what's it made of?
We are in the belly of the beast here in Palm Springs. I mean, this is like Luciferian court number 1. I mean, of course, you have places like the Vatican, but this is like the playground of the Luciferian court. It's just out of order in every possible way. What is happening here in California, not only in Palm Springs today, is going to shock you. So let me shock you. Okay? You want to start?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Am I going to be shocked?
Yes, you're going to be shocked too. I mean, it's just like one heresy, one insult to Christianity after another. Where are these people heading to? It's just like unbelievable. I mean, it's just like, why? Okay, so a group of drag queens that we've been discussing in the past is called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. They are kind of mock basically nuns, Catholic nuns. And if you remember, guys, at one point in 2023, the now former Bishop Strickland from Texas went all the way to LA, where there was the LA Dodgers indulging with this drag group, mocking Christianity. And instead of being awarded by Pope Francis, he ended up having to retire, actually being forced into retirement by Pope Francis. And these people are now back, this awful group, Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, is back for Christmas. I know the group was honored by a Major League Baseball in the middle of the Biden era. It's the LA Dodgers, guys. The city of LA is the city of lost angels. But these performers, these transgender and gender non-conforming performers are now back to insult our Lord Jesus Christ in one of the most holy days of the year. And they are back with an event, which I'm going to show you now, an event which is basically an event about the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence with Hunky Jesus and Foxy Mary in a drag contest aimed even at children. So, I mean, here we are. This is happening in California. It's happening in this state, not in other states. This is happening in California. Check this out. Easter. The Sister of Perpetual Indulgence. No Easter without the trannies. Sunday, April 20. This is happening on Easter Sunday. Children Easter at 10:30 a.m. Main event at noon. Hosted by Honey Mahogany, Sister Roma, Alex Sin, The Mama's Boys, Pansy Division, Ladies of Asia 2.0. And of course, look.
It's like a tea party.
Look where Jesus is placed in the middle of this. And this is really outrageous, because Pope Francis made it possible for these people to evolve into something even worse than what they were already. Because after Strickland got punished, now I'm going to show you this post on X made by the Catholic vote status. And I mean, this is incredible. I mean, this is really what is happening here. And Pope Francis is indulging these people, is inviting them even in the Vatican, because he invited drag queens in the Vatican during his papacy. Says, can I get a gay man? House of Jesus. Can you please read here, Christy, what's written?
From where?
From here.
The live show will feature a stellar lineup of transgender and gender non-conforming performers, including trans opera star Brianna Elise Sinclair. Ronnie Reddick presents I'm Every Woman, featuring the ladies of Asia SF 2.0, trans and drag king hip-hop legends The Mama's Boys, featuring Ariel B. and Lambert, and San Francisco favorite Pansy Division. Oh, as always, all are invited to enter the Hunky Jesus, Foxy Mary, and Bonnet contest.
The Hunky Jesus.
It's a contest.
Now, guys, like I said, this is not the only thing that is happening. All hell is breaking loose in California. It's not only this.
Yeah.
And what I'm about to show you is even more upsetting in a way. Pro-trans athlete protesters chant Hail Satan at girls during a California school board meeting. Is this getting a little bit out of hand, or is this really out of hand? I think it's really out of hand, and it's a shame that California is becoming all this.
Y'all are a bunch of transphobic pieces of shit. I hope y'all all burn in hell. Hell, Satan, bitches!
We won't be burning it.
Sorry? Hey, who? Christy?
I just, I want to say that I sent you this article from Fox News, but there was another article that I sent you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that most California residents don't agree with this trans.
Okay, those
inclusion.
California, yeah, absolutely. But those California residents are, a lot of them, Catholics because they are Mexican descent, and they tolerate this bullshit because the all-inclusive Church of Pope Francis wants them to accept all this. The fact that Bishop Strickland was kicked out by Pope Francis, I mean, we just have to go on the internet and put the Bishop Strickland forced to resign by Pope Francis. And I mean, the Vatican asked Strickland to resign after he went and manifested and protested against these people. The Pope forcibly removed him.
Not surprising.
Because the Church of Satan is the Catholic Church at the moment. And guys, of course, you have heard about J.D. Vance going to the Vatican. It was a rather icy reception at the Vatican. The Pope, of course, didn't give him even 10 minutes. I mean, the Pope gave an hour to Mike Pence, a year before Mike Pence became the traitor who sabotaged the 2020 elections that were, of course, rigged. And Mike Pence is now a good Catholic in the eyes of Pope Francis, but because he's a Jesuit agent. J.D. Vance has become a Catholic only in August 2019. He has always had an idea that there is still a traditionalist force in the Vatican. that traditionalist force is now a minority. It's a complete minority. So I'm really glad that J.D. Vance wasn't received by the Pope and that there was this really icy reception in the Vatican. I want to show you some images, of course, of this icy reception, especially during the Friday Mass which he attended with his family. Because, of course, he then went also on to meet the Secretary of State. But usually the Pope will meet somebody like J.D. Vance. Mm-hmm. Instead, nothing. This is what happened on Easter Friday.
On Good Friday, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance attended the Liturgy of the Lord's Passion in St. Peter's Basilica with his family. In the homily at the service, the preacher of the papal household said Jesus' death reminds the world that it is not strength that saves, but the weakness of love. Vance, a convert to Catholicism, said in a post on X that it was a blessing to be in Rome on Good Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had a couple of technical difficulties getting back on the screen, but we are back. We want to thank our sponsors, those who believe in our show. Guys, we really need the sponsors this month, and of course, for the month of May, I'm about to actually come out with a new book. And of course, if I see that there is no sponsorship for this show, I'm going to simply dedicate myself to promote my new book, which I'm sure is going to gain a lot of attention. I would dedicate a few shows probably to the new book. But guys, if I don't see any interest from my own audience towards my books, or to sponsor this show, well, I mean, of course, I will have to do something else. I mean, time is, of course, very precious, especially when you are a writer. And so I hope that people encourage us in continuing the Leo Zagami show. Like I said, there was an icy reception. An icy reception that, as you can see, was also outlined by...
I know how those icy receptions go. So, I mean, I understand this icy reception because I felt it when I was there. So
at the Vatican?
Yeah. I mean, not from the friends of yours, but from the others. I felt it. So...
Well, what when you went inside the St. Peter's Basilica and all that?
Yeah, when I was there at the Vatican, it's very weird.
Yeah, the energies are very strong.
I'm sure he's not feeling that great.
Yeah, probably.
You get so much like bad stuff thrown at you. You have to be really strong.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing, you know, J.D. Vance is completely different from that Judas of Mike Pence. He's, you can see also that he really joined out of his own heart the Catholic faith because he really believes in it. The problem is that these people no longer believe in what Catholicism used to be because these people are sinners and they are Satanists post-Vatican II. The Vatican was hijacked by the Jesuits after the Second Vatican Council and by Freemasons, and the results is in front of our eyes with the Church of Pope Francis. So, I mean, no wonder that the Pope doesn't want to give even a minute to J.D. Vance, even if he has gone back to his duties and he has even received briefly King Charles the other day. So it's really sad.
It's not surprising.
But it's not surprising. In a way, it's a badge of honor, I think, to not be received by that Satanist of Pope Francis.
I'm sure Trump won't go.
Absolutely.
Against the backdrop of deep differences with the Trump administration over migration and foreign aid, as well as concerns for Ukraine and for Gaza, the Vatican Secretary of State welcomed U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance to the Vatican. Vance met with Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State, and with Archbishop Paul R. Gallagher, the Vatican Foreign Minister, April 19th in the Apostolic Palace. A Vatican statement said areas of agreement, such as the defense of religious freedom, as well as the areas of tension with the Trump administration, were discussed. The Vice President and his family also received a tour, including a stop at the Sistine Chapel.
Welcome to the Leo Zagami show. All hell breaks loose in California for Easter, but in the meantime, I'm also showing you, of course, what has happened with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance going to the Vatican, and of course, the problem the Jesuits have with J.D. Vance is that he's a convert who doesn't understand their love for the immigrants. They even made an article on America, the Jesuit Review, the problem with J.D. Vance, theology of Ordo Moris and its impact on policy. Ordo Moris, for those who don't know it, is, of course, a work connected to one of the great figures of Catholicism. I'm talking about Thomas Aquinas, Order of Love. And it means to support your own family, your own neighbors, your own citizens. But of course, in the interpretation of the Vatican, that means inevitably the support of immigrants, more immigrants, and yet more immigrants. So poor JD definitely arrived in a Vatican that was hostile to him. I received earlier today from the office of JD Vance, the press office of JD Vance, a few photos and also a very brief, I must say, mail where they said that they talked about also Trump's peace proposal, which is very good. I mean, Trump is doing a great job. He said, though, Trump, that if this whole thing doesn't get to a solution, just like Marco Rubio said, of course, he was the first one to state this, but then Trump kind of, said Rubio is right, and he said exactly.
Rubio said that the U.S. will have to figure out whether a deal can be done between Russia and Ukraine in a matter of days, or you will just move on.
Yeah, very short.
How many days is that?
No specific number of days, but quickly. We want to get it done. We're talking about here people dying. We're talking about over there people are dying also, like on average 2,500 young people, soldiers. They're not from America. They're not from anywhere else other than Ukraine and Russia. But we want to save these lives. So it's 2,500 a week are being killed in battle. It's a vicious battle with the best equipment, the best everything, and it is brutal. 2,500 young people a week. Some of them not so young, actually.
It's incredible. I mean, this whole thing goes on, and of course, Trump said, just like Rubio, that if this whole thing continues with no results on the diplomatic front, we as Americans are ready to back off. Basically,
they're getting older by the month, but 2,500 a week, and we're going to get it stopped ideally. Now, if for some reason one of the two parties makes it very difficult, we're just going to say you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to just take a pass. But hopefully we won't have to do that.
In the meantime, I must say that Vladimir Putin has done a real gesture of hope. He has extended a branch of peace towards also Ukraine by calling for a truce during the Easter period. Now, of course, we don't know if the Ukrainians are going to respect this truce. I hope they do, because otherwise they will look really bad in the eyes of Trump, who already seems to dislike Zelensky anyway. So I think that the best thing would be to, somebody said, Leo, move to Texas. No, we want to be here in the belly of the beast because we want to actually fight the beast. It's too easy to be in Texas at the moment, surrounded by patriots. Here we have...
Maybe we could take a vacation, though.
Definitely. Maybe we should take a vacation.
We need a break from it.
Well, every now and then you definitely need a break from it. But let me show my viewers Vladimir Putin and his truce proposal.
В преддверии Пасхи поздравить прежде всего военнослужащих, исповедующих христианство, православие и сражающихся за Россию с этим светлым праздником. Поздравляю всех у нас в стране и в мире, кто празднует наступающий день, чтит и уважает его. Руководствуясь гуманитарными соображениями, сегодня с 18:00 часов до 00 часов с воскресенья на понедельник российская сторона объявляет пасхальное перемирие. Приказываю на этот период остановить все боевые действия. Исходим из того, что украинская сторона последует нашему примеру. При этом наши войска должны быть готовы к отражению возможных нарушений перемирия и провокаций со стороны противника, любых его агрессивных действий. Мы знаем, киевский режим более 100 раз, как вы мне и докладывали, нарушал договоренности о ненанесении ударов по энергетической инфраструктуре. Поэтому прошу быть крайне внимательными и собранными, быть готовыми к немедленному ответу в полном объеме. Наше решение о пасхальном перемирии покажет, насколько искренней является готовность киевского режима и его желание, да и способность соблюдать договоренности, участвовать в процессе мирных переговоров.
So this is the proposal, the truce proposal from Vladimir Putin. Somebody says, what is the screensaver? Well, it's a very appropriate one. It's basically Satan and Pope Francis together. Yes, they seem to be very intimate these days, especially because Pope Francis doesn't have that much time left, so he's preparing his way towards...
I think he's dead already.
No, well, he's alive. We have seen him alive. But
no, I mean, just like a zombie. Zombie Pope.
Zombie Pope. We can do it the dead, definitely. The guy is still though in charge, and the Jesuits are, of course, in charge with him of the Vatican. And this kind of church is totally it stands in an opposite direction to what the Orthodox Church of Vladimir Putin stands, because Kirill's Orthodox Church is today the only Orthodox reality which maintains a real Christian conservative approach. A lot of people say, oh, well, I'm embracing Orthodoxy. Guys, be aware that all the Orthodox churches out there that are linked to Bartolomeo, the Patriarch in Constantinople, or the other ones, are all connected to the Jesuits. They're all controlled by the Jesuits. So you are basically going from one thing to the other, thinking that you are embracing something more conservative. But in reality, the Orthodox churches, because of the way they are built, because there is no centralized authority, the only one that really is opposing this one world religion at the moment is the one in Moscow. And that's why there is this war currently taking place, unfortunately. So
I have a question.
Yes.
Where are people supposed to worship if all these churches are so bad? I mean, like usually people like to go to church on Easter.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I mean, even us are in this. We're in this predicament because
Yes.
we're not in line with the Catholic Church yet. we are Catholic and that's all we know. We grew up Catholic.
Well, of course, you have more traditionalist Catholic priests and churches. They're not widely available, but
Not
they are
here.
not so much here, but they are widely available. In any case, at times you go there and worship in the house of God in a personal capacity without going through the institution, which of course often is corrupt, especially with the priests that came out of the seminaries in the last 50 years. It seems like they're very much corrupt. But going back to that Hail Satan in support of the transgender athletes.
Y'all are a bunch of transphobic pieces of shit, and I hope y'all all burn in hell. Hell, Satan, bitches!
We won't be burning in hell, ma'am.
Y'all are really afraid of authenticity and people being their own true selves. You're afraid of love. You're afraid of solidarity.
No, we're not afraid of love. We're not afraid of solidarity. You are imposing this bullshit on us. Doesn't have anything to do with, I mean, we have fought for the equality of rights between men and women. Women have their own sports. And of course, once a man comes in one of, participate to those sports camouflaged as a woman, because that's what a transgender individual is, they can actually risk even their health. I mean, it's
Their
just
life.
their life. It's outrageous what is happening. And Trump has prohibited all this. So why do we have this happening in California?
Y'all are crazy for that. Absolutely crazy. I'm on my way.
It's over. Just wait.
You are crazy, and they are ugly inside and they're ugly outside, these people. That is the big problem here, Christy. It's just like the insanity that pervades this whole situation here in California. And it's not only with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence who are doing hanky whatever Jesus Easter with the children and drag queens. It's also out in the public when you have a giant statue in the Jesuit city of San Francisco, which was one of the most important Jesuit universities and one of the most important Jesuit elites, including people like Nancy Pelosi. Look at what kind of monstruosity these people have built in front of the port. And look how the workers are standing in the asshole of this naked statue.
God.
Cheeks, oh, he's really oh my god, yo, what the, oh my,
what the hell on, what the hell he buried?
I mean, this is San Francisco. This is San Francisco. This is embarrassing. But it's not embarrassing for these people because they're a bunch of sick individuals whose education by the Jesuits has formed a class of individuals which is completely out there. I want to show you something that you might not know about because it's not really widely discussed. Let me see. San Francisco. I want to show you this because it's just, I mean, the Jesuits are actually creating in the University of San Francisco for the purpose, of contemplating, I don't know what, Transgender Spectrum Initiative. The Transgender Spectrum Initiative was a Jesuit grant foundation funded program from the Gender and Sexuality Center at USF. The purpose of the Transgender Spectrum Initiative, through the Jesuit value of contemplation, was to invite transgender, non-binary. The focus of these spaces would be solidarity building and personal and professional development. I mean, what is this? What kind of sickness is this? The Jesuits and the transgender and their contemplation. I mean, it's like we are so far from Christianity, and we have only the Vatican Jesuits to blame for all this. That's the truth. But then, whatever. In any case, California, of course, is historically a state that comes from Mexico, from the Kingdom of Spain, and is entrenched with Jesuitry, even in their own bureaucracy. And it's just like to see the naked statues is the last, or to see the transgender nuns of perpetual indulgence, or to see the transgender complaining and shout. But in the end, they come out with the real belief, because the real belief is Satan. The real belief is Satan. So when you see that a woman going out of,
they get mad really quick too, and they usually end up cursing. So
yeah, and
it's just like really like typical behavior of Satanists.
And you can see that. I mean, when they're actually they're saying it's hail Satan.
Y'all are a bunch of transphobic pieces of shit. I hope y'all all burn in hell. Hail Satan, bitches!
We won't be burning.
Hail Satan, that's it. I mean, they're not even hiding anymore. We are this is Easter 2025, and we are really at a critical juncture, at a turning point in our history, where there is a whole political party who is obviously siding with Satan. And it's not the Republican Party, but it's, of course, the Democrats. The Democrats, which I have denounced in my books. I've talked about this phenomenon in Volume 4, my confession in particular. I've discussed these topics in my books, so it's not a mystery for those who have read my books. I mean, the fact that I also dedicate a whole trilogy to Cyber Satan, from Volume 6.66 to Volume 7 to Volume 9, because they're also using the technology, the AI, and everything that is modern, so they can build these smart cities, which are in reality cities controlled by the satanic AI, so they can continue implementing their satanic values of that are against the human being. The human being is hated by these people. And that's why they are indulging in transgenderism, because this is only the first step. Then man is going to transform into something monstrous, into, half man, half machine, and they're going to start having different shapes. And you're going to have to be inclusive about all that monstrosity. So that's why they are preparing us. What?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, it's a very ambiguous figure. I hope that sooner rather than later, he comes out and makes a clear statement against Satanism. Otherwise, his ambiguity is going to be always a little bit problematic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying, he's helping the president, but then at the same time, like I said, his ambiguity it's weird. So we're gonna have
There's a lot of weird stuff I don't understand.
Definitely. Okay, guys. Today there was also another important event that took place in Rome, because there was the second meeting between the United States and Iran. They chose Rome. Probably the fact that J.D. Vance is already there, it's a bonus. Witkoff, of course, was there. This is what happened. They were saying it's Oman, it's this, it's that. There were some images from the previous meeting, but this is actually Rome, guys. Rome is full of fantastic marbles and fantastic buildings, and this building is actually in the Parioli area. It's a fantastic building where they are having these meetings. Actually, today they came to the realization that it's actually going quite well. So Iran kept on, surprisingly, for 4 hours interacting with the Americans, and they came to the realization maybe there will be a peace. There will be a peace. There will be a next meeting in a week time in Oman. So they will be leaving Rome soon. But definitely this is a very important thing for the Trump administration, because we have, of course, a difficulty when it comes to the peace between Russia and Ukraine. Maybe we will have a deal for the rare earth minerals next week. But why there is this rare earth deal? Because, of course, if we have to continue in any way sustaining this war, it's not going to be any more our money involved. There has to be the money of the Ukrainian people. It's like Joe Biden has emptied our pockets to fuel a war which we have, no reason to be involved with. So Rubio made it clear, Trump made it clear, and I hope that within the next 2 weeks, either in one way or another, we sort out this Ukraine-Russian confrontation. But at the same time, we have, of course, this very important moment with Iran, because there was a lot of talk about war with Iran. But guys, Trump wants to make a deal. And it seems like the Iranians like Trump, actually, because I saw yesterday they were showing, every Friday there is a tradition, you pray at the mosque and then the imam makes a speech. And often in Iran, you have these states imams delivering the speech. Now, for the first time, they were showing a lot of military that are really orthodox in their Shiite Islamic approach, listening to this spokesman, this imam, this spokesman basically of the government, this Ayatollah, whatever he was, that was actually saying it's a good thing. Maybe we make a deal with Trump. I was watching these fundamentalists, and they were like, yes, maybe we should make a deal with Trump. So, guys, this is quite interesting what is happening with Iran. And maybe it's going to lead to something really good. Thank you to Hindustan Times that makes these great clips for us. And of course, this is the Leo Zagami Show. And if you want to support the Leo Zagami Show, you can do it. GoFundMe is here, and you are our sponsors. We are very proud to be independent, but of course, we rely on your support to maintain our independency. And Leo and Christy continue to deliver more and more news for all those who are following us today. Easter is a great moment, especially for Christians. Now, this is a particular kind of situation, guys, I'm about to introduce you to. This Republican mayor here in California has actually made waves with his announcement. What is his announcement? You want to know what is his announcement? I mean, it's a very brutal. He wants to do the purge, he said. He wants to what? He wants to give fentanyl to the criminals who want it, so they can get rid of them. I mean, this is, of course, a very extreme position by Somebody who is been elected for a few times as mayor, and he just doesn't know what to do anymore. I mean, the thing is this. You will see from his words,
that's a dumb idea.
No, it's not a question of being dumb. It's a question that you can try and try again. But if they don't want the help and they want to continue to steal, burgle, and
just give it to them.
And at that point, okay, give it to them and just get rid of them. But I mean, of course, this is a very controversial statement. The mayor who wants the purge of the violent homeless by giving them fentanyl. Let's check it out.
Is facing some heat for what he said at a council meeting and how to handle the homeless issue. He suggested give them all fentanyl.
Spoke to Fox 11 about those comments. First, here's what he said at the meeting.
But talking about homeless, it sounds like you want to kind of enclose all these homeless people in one territory. And
what I want to do is give them free fentanyl. I mean, that's what I want to do.
Do what?
I want to give them free fentanyl.
I can't understand what you're saying. You wanted to get them what?
I want to give them all the fentanyl they want. That's what I want.
Mayor Rex Paris also says he believes the people of Lancaster stand by him, and there's a reason why he's been elected 6 times.
I'm assuming you're talking about a meeting that occurred over a month and a half ago, where we were attempting to move the homeless population to a abandoned golf course and use it as a camping ground. And the people that lived near it were obviously not happy with that. During the course of the meeting, I think I did say that if it were up to me, I'd be giving them fentanyl. But I made it very clear I was talking about the criminal element that were let out of the prisons that have now become 40 to 45% of what's referred to as the homeless population. They are responsible for most of our robberies, most of our rapes, and at least half of our murders. There is nothing that we can do for these people. Lancaster has the most innovative homeless solutions of any city in America. We're very proud of it. We can take care of a lot of people, but I'm talking about the people that refuse those services, the people that want to camp near your home so that they can burglarize them at night, the people that accost you in the store parking lots and intimidate you into giving them money. We call that robbery in a sane society. Quite frankly, I wish the president would give us a purge, because we do need to purge these people. Now, is it harsh? Of course it's harsh, but it's my obligation as the mayor of the city of Lancaster to protect the hardworking families that live there, and I am no longer able to do it. The sheriff's department is 70 deputies down in our city. The sheriff does not enforce the laws against, if it's the homeless population, because of fear of federal lawsuits. It's an untenable situation, and I'm open to any solution. But I want these people out of our city. Well, I don't think anybody took me literally. In fact, it's so easy to get fentanyl on our streets today that it wouldn't have made any difference if we did give it away. But no, I don't regret saying it. I'm happy that we're focusing the attention on an aspect of this problem that nobody seems to want to look at. These people are killing our citizens. Not a lot of them, but some of them. They have no respect for law and order. They think nothing of kicking in your back doors at night. And the reason I know that is they kicked in my back door on 2 occasions. And I'm the mayor in a gated community with more than a few security options. It's a problem that is endangering the lives of our citizens, and I think we should treat it that way. I mean, that's why in Lancaster you can get a gun permit in 2 weeks. We have the most advanced homeless center in America. I mean, it'll accommodate hundreds of people. They can work up to living in an apartment that's better than any apartment I ever lived in when I was going to school. The services there deal with their drug issues, deal with their medical issues, deal with their psychological issues. The people I'm talking about are the ones that refuse to go there. Let's quit lumping all of the homeless into one category, because they're not. There are a significant number of them that are criminals that have no desire to work. In my religion, the Lord says, if you don't work, you don't eat. Now, what does that mean when you take it to its logical conclusion? We should not be accommodating people who simply don't want to work. I think that my constituents in Lancaster know exactly what I mean and know exactly that I am unwilling to accommodate criminals. And that's why they have reelected me 6 times.
Now, of course, this is a very controversial statement, but fully understandable because, Christy.
Well, I mean, the working part, I understand.
Now,
if you
I
want to
personally
eat, you
think,
have to work. I mean, you have to work in God's kingdom. You have to work.
Yeah, but also the thing is that they don't want your help. So I personally think you shouldn't give them fentanyl. You should just arrest them, pick them up, and send them to El Salvador in the prisons that a great president of El Salvador has offered to build for President Donald J. Trump. That is the solution, not to give them fentanyl. Arrest them, get them out of the street, and throw them in that hellhole which is in El Salvador, and they're gonna get back to sanity in a way or in another. A lot of these people are pedophiles, and they don't want to be, in any homes, because otherwise they get listed as sex offenders. A lot of people are repeated drug dealers with repeated offenses. I think that tolerance in California has built a really bad situation, and all hell is breaking loose in California. You have seen these people, these Democrats, they openly support Satan. They are tolerating this shit. And of course, it's becoming really bad. Even here, where we are living in Palm Springs, guys, in the last 24 hours, there's been shootings left, right, and center, and acts of criminality which were unheard before.
Yeah, that's true.
This is not possible. I mean, if you continue to tolerate this bullshit, you are gonna end up having a big, big problem. So my take on it is send them to El Salvador and do it fast. This is the solution. But of course, today we have the Supreme Court that has blocked Donald J. Trump from using the 1798 Enemy Act.
There's just a really big problem.
Because we have, in general, in America, we have the judiciary in the hands of people. Even the Supreme Court is supposed to have a majority of conservatives. In the end, has demonstrated and fully shown the real colors. And in any case, guys, the solution here is to take them off the streets and do it fast and do it forcefully, because, of course, people like the mayor are stressed out.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Well, okay, there's a lot of criminals on the street, but there are some veterans and people that have mental problems.
Absolutely.
And there's also men or people that get divorced.
But they want when he says, the mayor, we offer the help, and they refuse it, then that goes to a whole other level. Because
they do give a lot. I must say that in California, if you don't have a lot of money, they give you a lot.
They tolerate this shit in the
I don't
streets.
think they want people to work. I think they want to just, want people at home dependent on the system. That's what they want.
Well,
I mean, control is everything.
Definitely. Guys, we are, of course, suggesting you never eat the juicy Lucifer burger, because
actually this kind of burger is all over America, and sometimes they call it the Juicy Lucy, the Juicy Lucy. But yeah, it's not just here in Palm Springs. You can find them in other places like St. Louis and.
Exorcise the Juicy Lucifer.
I'm always trying to defend California. Can you feel it? Can you see it?
Guys,
I'm always trying.
I want to show you.
I heart California.
Yes, but we need to. I mean, of course, but we need to protect this place.
I want it to change, and I want it to be better, and I want everything good.
We had two fantastic pizzas. It's Saturday, and on Saturday. We prefer not the Juicy Lucifer burger, but we prefer a great pizza.
My pizzas are so good.
Fantastic.
So
pizza with pepper and then the other artichoke. Fantastic pizza.
I want to tell my audience something. Well, not my audience.
Well, your audience, the book.
Okay, you have to be quiet.
Yeah, but you need to tell them that you can actually learn how to make pizzas.
I wanted to say something about that. Can you be quiet?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in my book, I give the direction for how to make a pizza. And I say, you can knead it for like a minute or two. But I've been kneading the pizza a lot longer, the dough. And I find that the more I knead it, because you find out these things as you go, you learn as you go, or you find things that you like better. And so I always try to make things better and tweak it. But I mean, if the pizza crust will come out softer, but it will also come out firm, and it's a really nice textured pizza. If you need a lot, like I would say 4 minutes. So I kneaded about 4 minutes, and then I let it rise twice. So, and it's the first time I let it rise an hour and a half, and they come out so good.
The Zagami Family Cookbook with all the recipes, all the techniques to produce your own personal pizza and pasta. This is a great book, guys. It will transform your kitchen in a five-star restaurant. You will no longer need to go to expensive Italian restaurants. You can do it in your home. And of course, guys, we are going towards the end of the show, but I couldn't end up this show without the showing you the official page that Donald J. Trump has dedicated to the lab leak theory, openly accusing the enemies. And the enemies are Joe Biden and, of course, Dr. Fauci, who was directly involved with this gain-of-function research with the Wuhan lab. Guys, check out this page at whitehouse.gov/lab/leak/true origins of the COVID-19. I like also this image of Trump, lab leak, and he arrives. And guys, imagine we couldn't say any of this 4 years ago. Forget it. Your channel will be removed in an instant. You will get a variety of threats from YouTube, from Facebook, from everywhere. And now, because of Trump's administration, we can actually go on the White House official website and see where this virus was born. I mean, this is incredible, guys. Think about it. The level of freedom we have now. And also prices are going down in the supermarkets. Prices of gasoline is going down.
Not here.
Well, not so much here, but even here a little bit, But of course, we are not at the level.
Actually, it's true, because I have been going on Amazon. I don't really like to shop on there, but I always end up shopping on there. And I've been saving a lot of money on Amazon. I don't know if the products I buy are just like, they're good. I mean, I've been saving money.
Trump is maintaining his promises, and he's making us richer. Just have a bit of patience with the tariffs, and I think that things will eventually be sorted out. In the meantime, me and Christy wish you, of course, a great Easter.
It's very nice to be here the day before Easter.
Yes.
Happy Easter to everyone.
Tomorrow we're gonna cook a great chicken.
I decided to make a chicken.
Oh, we're gonna have a fantastic chicken tomorrow, guys.
baked chicken.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. We end up, of course, with Vincenzo Piccia versus Medieval. Back
in that
next
time, our world has taken so many steps in the wrong direction. In the negative utopia, science, technology, social organization, in the negative utopia,
eyebrows. Dance the night away. Happy Easter, everyone. May Jesus be reborn in all of your hearts as well as your faith. And I see you next week together with my wife for another great episode of the Leo Zagami Show.
Technology, social organization, dehumanization. Technology, social organization.